By tomorrow you'll have forgotten 6 of the 7 AI stories that just flooded your feed. The robot referees, the billion-dollar lawsuit, the wave of state laws, the new flagship model. But one of them, the quietest one, just changed how much you can trust the tool already open on your phone. It wasn't announced on any stage. It was a single sentence hidden in plain sight. Let's start with the scale of the pileup. In a single 24-hour stretch, Anthropic shipped a frontier model and a brand new way to run hundreds of AI agents at once. OpenAI published a governance rulebook for its most dangerous systems. California pushed roughly 30 AI bills through a make-or-break deadline. And a major news network dragged an AI search engine into federal court. All before most of you finished dinner. This is the trap of modern AI news. Everything arrives at the same volume, in the same red breaking news font, fighting for the same panic. A robot referee feels as huge as a model that reasons better. A lawsuit feels as huge as a law. So you end up remembering all of it and understanding none of it. That's exactly how the important one slips past you. So here's what we're going to do. I'll lay out all 7, fast exactly as they hit. Then I'll show you why 6 of them are loud but shallow. And why the 7th, the quietest one, is the only story that touches your actual life. Stay with me, because the reveal is not the one the headlines chose. Story 1. Yesterday, May 28th, Anthropic released Claude Opus 4.8. It landed just 41 days after the previous version. And at the same price. On paper, another routine upgrade in a year stuffed with them. The pitch wasn't raw speed or a bigger score on some benchmark. Early testers reported something subtler. The model makes fewer unsupported claims, and it flags its own uncertainty more often. Hold that detail. We'll come back to it. Story 2 same day. Anthropic also unveiled a research preview called Dynamic Workflows. In plain English, it lets a single Opus model coordinate hundreds of smaller AI agents working in parallel, splitting a giant task into pieces and running them all at once. It's the kind of thing that sounds abstract until you realize it's how an AI stops being a chatbot and starts behaving like an entire department. Impressive. File it. Story 3. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver announced the league will hand certain calls to machines. Using Sony's Hawkeye optical tracking, an automated system will judge out-of-bounds and possession decisions, reportedly at sub-second speed. Human referees, partially replaced by cameras and code, in one of the most watched sports on Earth. It's a perfect viral headline, emotional, visual, easy to argue about. And it tells you almost nothing about where AI is actually going. Story 4. CNN filed a lawsuit against the AI search company Perplexity, accusing it of copying and redistributing its journalism after licensing talks collapsed last year. It's one more front in the war between the people who make information and the machines that repackage it. Billions in content value are on the line. And honestly, it matters, but not the way you think, because here's where it gets stranger. Now the rapid-fire round. Story 5. OpenAI published its Frontier Governance Framework, spelling out how it handles its riskiest models across cyber attacks, biothreats, manipulation, and loss of control. Story 6. California pushed nearly 30 AI bills past a crossover deadline today, covering chatbots, kids' safety, healthcare, and workplace surveillance. And Story 7. OpenAI revealed it's building self-improving tax agents with its Codex system. 7 stories. One day. Now let's talk about why almost none of them deserve the space in your head. Start with the robots, because they're the easiest to fall for. Robot referees and armies of parallel agents make incredible footage. They feel like the future arriving in real time. But ask the harder question. Do they change a single decision you'll make this week? The NBA story changes one league. The agent demo changes a roadmap. Loud yes. Personal, no. Now stack the contradictions. On the same day OpenAI publishes a careful framework about catastrophic AI risk, a different AI company is being sued for allegedly strip mining a newsroom. One hand writes the safety pledge, the other races to ship faster. That tension is the real texture of this industry right now. Enormous responsibility and enormous hurry, pressed into the same 24 hours. And the laws. California moving 30 bills sounds like a tidal wave. But a bill clearing one chamber is not a law. It's a permission slip to keep arguing until July. Meanwhile, the companies aren't waiting for any of it. They're writing their own rulebooks, on their own timelines, and daring regulators to catch up. Which raises an uncomfortable question. Wait until you see who's actually setting the rules, because that's the pattern hiding under all 7 stories. The model ships first. The agents deploy first. The lawsuit and the legislation arrive months, sometimes years, behind. We are living inside a permanent gap between what AI can already do and what anyone has agreed it should do. 6 of today's stories live inside that gap. They're symptoms. So if 6 of them are symptoms, what's the cause? What's the one development that actually moves the needle for a normal person? Not a league, not a law firm, not a policy team. It was sitting in plain sight the whole time, in the most boring document of the day. Here's where it gets really interesting. Go back to story 1. Claude Opus 4.8. Forget the version number and the 41-day cadence. The thing that matters was a single, quiet line in the release notes. The model flags its own uncertainty more readily, and makes fewer unsupported claims. No keynote. No fireworks. Just a sentence about a model learning, finally, to say 3 words. Those 3 words are, I'm not sure. For 3 years, the single biggest problem with these tools hasn't been that they're dumb. It's that they're confidently wrong. They hallucinate. They invent a citation, a number, a fact. And they deliver the lie in the exact same calm voice they use for the truth. That one flaw is why you can't fully trust AI with anything that counts. Your medical question. Your legal contract. Your kid's homework. Your company's numbers. A tool that might be brilliantly right or catastrophically wrong, with zero change in tone, can't be trusted alone in any room that matters. Hallucination is the wall every other AI dream keeps slamming into, so a model that reliably raises its hand and admits doubt isn't a minor patch. It's the unlock. Robot referees don't matter if the underlying AI still bluffs. Self-improving tax agents are terrifying if they can't tell you when they're guessing. Every flashy story today depends on this one boring sentence being true. Trust is the foundation. Everything else is decoration. Here's what it means for you tonight. The next time you use one of these tools, watch for the hedge. The moment it says it isn't certain, or asks you to verify. That's not weakness. That's the most valuable feature any AI can have. Reward the tools that admit doubt. Be suspicious of the ones that never do. And remember the promise I made at the start. The one sentence nobody put on a stage. Now you've seen it. While the world argued about robot refs and a billion-dollar lawsuit, the only story that actually changes your life was one line in a release note. The machine learned to say I don't know. Master that filter, and you'll read every future AI headline correctly. 7 stories in 24 hours. And now you can tell the noise from the signal. If this helped you see today's AI flood differently, hit like so it reaches more people drowning in headlines. Follow for the next breakdown. There's always a next 24 hours. And tell me in the comments, which of the 7 did you think mattered most before this? Share it with someone still panicking. That's the story. If you'd watch one more like this, hit subscribe and I'll have another ready soon.